Greg, thank you so much for joining us. Hades has been such a tremendous success, both critically and commercially. I guess my first question for you is, what does this megaton success mean for Supergiant Games and the studio at large moving forward?
We are blown away by the success. The really big thing it means is that we get to stick together and make more stuff. It's what we want to do. It's what we want the outcome of each of our projects to be. We're excited to keep going and figure out what are we going to do from here.
Well, congratulations to you and the team. As a big Supergiant fan, I can't wait to see what you're all up to next. But first, I wanted to go back and actually ask a little bit about some of the things that didn't come to pass in Hades. At one point, Theseus was supposed to be the main character of Hades, but I'm curious about other pantheons that you might have wanted to explore. Was there ever any conversation about, Norse pantheons of gods or Egyptian? Was there anywhere you wanted to go outside of the Greek gods?
Yeah, Greek gods was definitely the starting point for us. Myself and several of my colleagues, we grew up just kind of in love with Greek myth, fascinated by it. But of course, Norse mythology, Chinese mythology, Egyptian mythology, Hindu mythology. There are so many interesting, fascinating pantheons out there, and we have a few little sneaking references to some other pantheons in the scope of Hades, but of course it's still very focused on the underworld of Greek myth. Yeah, but it's really interesting to think about how they're all kind of connected. They're all part of our world.
You'll have a better home where you belong, here on Olympus. And to help you on your journey, have my blessing.
And then in consideration to a sequel, when we're talking about pantheons, are alternate pantheons, other godly pantheons, something that you would want to tie into a sequel to Hades?
Oof, it's way too early for us to say when it comes to something like that. But the really fun thing for us about Hades is that it's kind of the underworld's point of view on potentially all of human history. Hades includes references to things like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table or the Epic of Gilgamesh. The sky's the limit, and in our world, all of these mythologies do kind of belong and coexist under one roof.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Hades does really, really well is in a way humanizing these Greek gods, really giving them a different kind of character than we've seen when we're talking about the Greek pantheon. There are so many characters. I wonder if there's any gods from the Greek pantheon that you wanted to have in the game but actually ended up on the cutting room floor.
One of the big ones we thought about going into the project was Apollo. Apollo is one of those iconic names from Greek myth. But when push came to shove and we were thinking about who is going to be the last Olympian we put in, we ended up going with Demeter, who is one of the, I think, kind of the least popular of the Greek gods, but she's so tied to the story and we felt like we had a point of view on her that felt distinct. So we decided to go with her. She bumped Apollo's slot there in that case.
Stupid boy, you shall never reach the surface.
So over the course of the last couple of years, we've seen some pretty tremendous success in video game adaptations. Some that come to mind, Castlevania on Netflix. Netflix is also doing a Dota adaptation coming up pretty soon. What would a Hades adaptation look like? Is that something that you and the team would be interested in?
Yeah, that's it's an exciting question to think about. We certainly have some ideas, though please don't read too much into this. There's kind of it's one of those things. It's fun to think about and dream about, despite not having any immediate plans for such things. But we've made the worlds of each of our games in such a way that they could support any number of stories. And with something like Hades, there's so many characters already in this game, and of course, the rest of Greek myth to draw upon, that it's easy to think about how there could be other stories in the setting. Though on a personal level, I am excited to see that there are these adaptations happening. It feels like video games, their time is imminent for this stuff, right? It's there's no reason comics should have all the fun of having great adaptations. Video games should get in on it too.
Right on. Well, Greg, thank you so much for joining us today, and congrats to you and congrats to the whole Supergiant team. Looking forward to seeing what you all are up to next, and thanks for joining us.